All right, let's dive into the investment thesis for Binadamu Global. They've got a pretty big mission, architecting the future of talent. So let's break down their plan and see what's really under the hood.
So here's how we're going to walk through this. First, we'll look at the fractured talent market they're tackling. Then, we'll get into how they're architecting a new bridge. We'll cover their unfair operational advantage, their strategic growth engine, and finally, where this is all headed, from a platform to a full-blown ecosystem.
Okay, first up, a fractured talent market. Let's dig into the systemic gap they've identified.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it all. They're saying, this is not a talent problem, it's a systems problem. The core idea here isn't that we're running out of smart, capable people. Not at all. It's that the way we connect that brilliance to opportunity is just fundamentally broken. It's a connection problem, plain and simple.
And here's that global disconnect in a nutshell. On one hand, you've got these ANZ startups just stuck. They're fighting tooth and nail in a super expensive, tiny, local talent pool. It's literally holding back their innovation. Then, on the other side of the world, you have these incredibly ambitious, highly skilled professionals who are basically invisible. Why? Because the system has failed to let them tell their story. So you have two massive needs just sitting there, separated by this chasm.
Okay, so how do you even begin to fix a systemic problem like that? Well, this brings us to Section 2, Architecting the New Bridge. Their whole thing isn't about patching up the old system, it's about building something entirely new.
So, their guiding philosophy is really interesting. It's all about AI precision, human empathy. This isn't just another AI tool that's trying to replace people, and it's not some old-school consultancy they can't scale. No, they're blending the two. They're using AI for the heavy lifting, the deep data analysis, but then they bring in human experts for that irreplaceable wisdom, the strategy, the coaching, the stuff a machine just can't do.
And they frame their whole strategy using the golden circle, which I think is pretty smart. It keeps them focused. Their why, their whole reason for being, is to ignite potential by bridging that global talent gap. Their how is through that unique tech-driven, human-centric process we just talked about. And the what, well, that's the specialized recruitment and career architecture services they actually provide. See how it all flows from that core purpose?
All right, Section 3. This is where it gets really interesting. The unfair operational advantage. Let's talk about their defensible moats. So, how is this business defensible? Well, it starts with operational maturity. And this is key, because they bootstrapped, they were forced to be incredibly capital efficient from day one. There was no other choice. And that discipline resulted in this, a playbook of over 40 standard operating procedures, basically a detailed guide for every single part of the business. They actually call this their operational moat, a company in a box. And if you're an investor, this is exactly what you want to hear. It means the operation is de-risked. This isn't just a cool idea. It's a well-oiled machine with proven processes that's ready to scale, and scale predictably. Then there's their second moat, which is more strategic. They call it the impact flywheel. And this is brilliant because their social mission isn't some add-on, it's literally engineered into the business model. Here's how it works. Their B2B placements, their revenue, directly funds free services for underprivileged talent. That in turn attracts the best of the best, these elite, mission-driven professionals who want to be part of something bigger. This makes their talent pool even stronger, which, you guessed it, makes them even more attractive to corporate clients. It's a powerful, self-reinforcing loop. Okay, which brings us to the money. Section 4, the strategic growth engine. We've seen the problem, the solution, the moats. Now let's look at the disciplined financial plan they've put together. The ask is about $215,000. And I want to be clear, this is not some random number. It is a surgically calculated figure designed for one thing: maximum strategic impact. So what does that $215,000 actually get them? It fully funds a de-risked 18-month strategic runway. Think about that. A year and a half to just execute, to hit their core milestones without the distraction and pressure of constantly having to fundraise. It's all about de-risking this next critical phase of growth. And this is how they're planning to use those funds. You can see the priorities are crystal clear. The biggest slice, 59%, goes to team and founders. They're betting on their people. Then you've got 13% for B2B product development, another 8% for go-to-market, 8% for operations, and a healthy 12% contingency buffer. It's a plan that's all about investing in the people and the product that will drive that B2B expansion. So, fast forward 18 months, what does the company look like? This is the de-risked outcome. We're talking about $60,000 to $96,000 in annual recurring revenue, a strong cash position with about $36K still in the bank as a buffer, and a super lean, effective team. At that point, they are perfectly positioned for a Series A, or they could just keep growing profitably on their own. That's a great place to be.
Okay, so that's the disciplined 18-month plan. But what's the big picture? Where does all this lead? Let's look at the final section, from platform to ecosystem. This is their vision for the future. They see this path evolving in 3 stages. Right now, today, they're what they call the two-sided launchpad, serving both companies and individual professionals. After this seed investment, the goal is to build out a proprietary supply chain. The idea is that their talent coaching services will become the exclusive pipeline that feeds their corporate platform. Pretty clever. And the long-term vision? A predictive talent ecosystem, basically becoming the definitive operating system for the future of work. And really, this brings us full circle. The whole thesis, all the tech, the mission, it all comes down to this one question. What happens when talent is defined by potential, not by passport? That's the future they're trying to build. It's a direct challenge to how things are done now, and it's a vision for a much smarter and frankly, a more equitable way of connecting talent around the world.